We're actually live. That's very good. Hey, everybody, welcome. Thanks for joining us today. For those of you that are going to come and view this live, or if you're going to be looking at this later on at YouTube, right now, so we're in November of 2015, and I am talking to my good friend and a long-term client, Beth Nordman, and what we want to do is we want to talk today about GoldMine. Beth is a long time user of GoldMine, and you know, I don't want to say, Beth, that you're an expert with it, but you really do know it inside and out. And what I wanted to get to, I want to ask you a few questions about how you're using it, and what things you recommend, what you like, what you don't like, and hopefully you can help out the people that are thinking of either getting GoldMine, or for existing users that have it, maybe they can use it a little bit better. So for starters, Beth, tell me a little bit about the company that you work at and what you do.
Okay, my company is TKO Electronics. We are a national distributor of technology product. So we use GoldMine heavily as our CRM, as it was intended to do. It's our customer relationship manager. So we're inside of our company, we use an ERP system that manages the business. We use GoldMine, and we've actually integrated GoldMine with our ERP. And we push a lot of data from one system into GoldMine that helps us manage our customers. So all of our sales efforts and our marketing efforts happen out of GoldMine.
Wow. Okay. So it's just you raised like a lot of questions. First of all, what is the name of your ERP system?
We use Microsoft Attain.
Okay. All right. So it's Microsoft Attain. So let's go all the way back. Are you right now current on your version of GoldMine? Are you in GoldMine Premium?
Yes, we are.
You are. Great. And when you first got GoldMine, how long ago was that?
I would say we used ACT, and
Right.
we used that for about 10 years, and we migrated over to GoldMine in 1999.
Wow. Okay. So you've been using it for quite a long time now. How many people are on your GoldMine system now?
I think we have about 30 users currently.
Okay. And is that concurrently? You'll have 30 users coming on?
Yes, we do. And
Okay.
we have users in, we have an East Coast office, a West Coast office, and we also have remote users.
Great. Are your remote users synchronizing with GoldMine, or are they accessing it through remote desktop?
Remote desktop.
Okay. And right now, you know, is anybody integrating it with Outlook, or are you guys using GoldMine's email?
We use GoldMine's email for the most part.
What do you think of GoldMine's email?
I think that the idea of it is phenomenal, and I think that it does a reasonably good job of making sure that all the email communications, both in and out, are attached to a particular contact record, and that history is visible to any concurrent user who wants to see what's going on within a client. I think that there's a lot of potential for confusing the emails and confusing where they attach,
Right.
based on how based on user interface. So I think people cannot understand GoldMine thoroughly, and they can confuse how records attach, and can make the email a little bit clunky.
So in other words, like, so an email comes in, and if it hasn't already been attached to a contact record, you link it to a contact record. And I think what you're saying is, correct me if I'm wrong, is that some users have to do this, and so sometimes users get confused as to where they link an email to, and then that causes further confusion. Is that fair enough?
Yes. So emails can be linked to the wrong customers. Also, you can move email addresses from contact record to another contact record if you don't do it just the right way.
Got it. So you've had that experience over the past 15 years using GoldMine. I mean, how have you sort of addressed it? Is it just a training thing and supervision?
It's a completely a training thing.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Are you jumping around a little bit? Are you using GoldMine's calendar?
No.
Okay. So no calendar use at all. What do you guys use as far as like following up on activities, with your customers?
We do use how we maintain and manage our customers all comes from inside of GoldMine. So we heavily rely on scheduling calls and setting next calls. We also schedule to-dos. I just don't use the calendar because in our environment, any particular user might have 200 or 300 calls that they have to follow up on, right. And it just bogs down a calendar. So rather than the calendar, we launch activity list. So we work in the activity list. A lot of users use it within GoldMine, and then there's the option to output to Excel your activity list so you can sort however you want, and that's heavily used as well.
Yeah, so I do the same thing in my GoldMine. Like I have an activity list that I use. I schedule next actions, and I have call follow-ups and email follow-ups. I sort it in the activity list, and then obviously whatever I don't get to rolls over into the next day.
That's exactly what we do.
Schedule activities for each other, because we do that in our company.
We do. Yeah. We set meetings and calls for each other.
Right.
Reminders.
How about like using alarms as well, or anything like that? Do you make use of that, or is it just straightforward, just scheduling stuff?
I leave alarms up to the user preference. I do not like alarms. If I had alarms on, they'd be going off all day long.
Fair enough. When we talk about activities that we're scheduling, and you talk about the group, you said there's about 30 people that's using GoldMine. How many? Can you give me like a little bit of a breakdown of those 30 people? Are they all salespeople? Are they service people? Like who are they?
It really runs across our organization. So our sales environment uses it, our customer service team, our accounts receivable, our accounts payable, and also our marketing. What
does your salespeople do with it? Do they follow up on cold leads in GoldMine, or is it mostly reaching out to existing customers?
We do a fair bit of demand generation where we're gathering leads from our website. They come into our system and we sort of nurture them that way through email campaigns that we also do inside of GoldMine. On the results of that email campaign, we code fields in GoldMine to bring leads forward.
Right.
Hotter. At some point they get to a sales rep. A sales rep does call on them. If a sales rep sees an opportunity there for a sustainable long-term relationship, they create an opportunity and a forecasted sale, and then they're using, completed calls and scheduling meetings and activities and all kinds of stuff as a result.
That's great. So taking a few steps back, you said you bring stuff in from your website. Do you have GoldMine integrated with your website? Are you guys using the web import functionality?
It's not integrated, no. We bring it in manually. It actually comes into our ERP and then pushes over into GoldMine that way.
Okay. So that also brings up, another point is that, anybody that comes in through the web and they fill out a form, that comes into Microsoft Attain, and then you've got a process for bringing that information from Attain into GoldMine. Right. Is that, I know we're jumping around, but it's good stuff. So is your integration between Attain and GoldMine, is it just that where like new leads come over into GoldMine and that's it? Or is there other integration between the two applications? No,
we bring over new leads. We also bring over new customers. We also bring over updated sales information and accounts receivable information for every customer, so that a sales rep really only has to sit in GoldMine on that contact record.
That's awesome.
We've designed GoldMine, so that's really all they need to do. So right from that main top quadrant in the contact record, they'll be able to see how much a customer owes us, the aging of the AR, and then we have a tab below that contains all the marketing details, which is revenue information, date of last order, most recent note, what they bought, all of that information is right there.
Got it. So these are all data, these are fields, this is not a view, this is actually data that's coming in from Attain into GoldMine. Yeah. Is this done every night or every week, or
every night?
Every night that's done. Who did that for you?
We did that ourselves.
Okay. Who, when you say you did it yourself, who, like internally, like what kind of person did that for you? What was the person's qualifications that did that?
IT director.
Okay. And this is a development project. So, and I know you're not on the IT side as much, but I'm not sure if you know this or not, but like, did your IT director, did he, right, I guess, wrote some type of application to do that? Is he using a third-party product to extract that information into GoldMine? Is he using just sort of SQL triggers, just on the back-end database to bring it into GoldMine? Do you know?
We have a piece of software that takes the information out of Attain and pushes it into GoldMine. He did design the application of the process using that software. I can't even remember what the name of the software is.
Okay, that's fair enough. How long ago was that? Was that done? Like how long have you been doing this?
At least 10 years.
Yeah. Okay. So, because a lot of our clients ask about integrating GoldMine with other applications. So do you remember if there was any like serious issues doing this, any roadblocks that, you would want to make people aware of if they're trying to integrate GoldMine with another application?
No, the piece of software we did use was fairly open, so we did not have a whole lot of roadblocks.
Okay. How about when you upgrade either Attain or GoldMine, has that integration broken?
No, actually it has not.
That's really good to hear. That's unusual because usually I hear like stuff breaks and then people have to fix it and support it or whatever. And did you consider using somebody like from the outside to do that, or as opposed to having your internal IT director do this?
I think we've looked at using either the Marks Group or
any outside developer, right?
Or a combination of both of you. So I think at this point now, we're really using you guys and your expertise along with the IT people.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I mean, when people look at doing integration between GoldMine, really any CRM application and other databases, the clients I know that have succeeded the most are the ones that actually do it in-house. I'm not that to put it off on anybody that's external, but if you've got a good person in-house that's got some development experience and wants to roll up their sleeves and get into the back-end databases, they can not only, they know what to do from the business standpoint, and then they're there on site to support it and make sure that it runs. Yeah. So that's also good. Let me switch gears a little bit because we only have about 20 or 25 minutes. So I want to make sure I cover all the things I want to ask you about how you're using GoldMine. You mentioned campaigns. So you use GoldMine to send out, emails. I know you're using it just as your daily email thing, but do you send out bulk emails through GoldMine?
We do, but we do not actually not in the way that you would use a constant contact or an outside sort of service.
Okay.
We basically have a lot of auto processes that we've designed inside of GoldMine. So we basically build these processes that are elaborate if-then scenarios to look for conditions that apply. And then as the system comes across records,
it will send out an email based on.
Yeah, it auto sends out any number of different emails that we have set up and going.
Okay, can you give me an example of one of these automated processes?
Yeah, for a new customer that comes into our system, if they've not bought before, it'll trigger a series of 7 emails that they go out every 2 weeks, and it basically introduces the customer or the prospect at that point to all the different products and services that we offer. Once that customer is contacted by someone in our system here, and that is logged in GoldMine, it changes the nature of the emails. It shifts them to a different road of different emails that go out addressing unique specifics about our website and things like that. Once a customer or a prospect buys and becomes a customer, it shifts lanes again. And then there's another series of probably 15 emails that will hit them during the course of 12 months.
Okay, so when you say that you shift from being, like, say, a cold lead to a prospect to an actual customer itself, are you just using a field in GoldMine to sort of trigger that shift? Or do you have like a sort of a status field or something? Is that what it is?
That's one of them. And then in other processes, it looks for results in a number of fields.
Got it.
This says A and that says B and this is D, then do this.
Got it. Are the emails that you have going out, are they just text-based emails, or are they HTML type emails?
We use HTML emails.
Okay.
A lot of graphics in there.
How often do you update? You said like if I'm a customer of yours, you're going to want me to have a continuous series, and this goes on year in and year out. So I guess you're updating those emails frequently as well. Is that right?
Yep. Yes.
Who does all this?
I do it with Mary. I have a marketing person.
Okay. So
I have a marketing resource that's dedicated to it most.
Got it. Okay, that's great. I mean, you've been, GoldMine inside and out, and I guess you got some training, and then you self-taught it. So you consider yourself pretty good at going in and monkeying around with the templates within GoldMine. How do you feel about these automated processes? Do you set those up, or is that your tech guy do that? I mean, who does that?
No, it's not the tech guy. I can do it, and I also work with one of my marketing people to get that done.
Okay.
It's all through a wizard, so it's pretty easy. The first few are a bit labor intensive because you really have to understand and take that process and break it down into the step by step by step. And then you have to test it and make sure it works. So as long as you have the time and the energy and the interest in doing it, you are able to do it yourself. It's also one of the things that I can look to farm out pretty easily if I'm busy.
Yep, I got it. I mean, have the automated processes worked pretty consistently? I mean, do they ever break down, or have you ever found where like this stopped working for some reason?
No, they never break down.
Wow. Okay. That's okay. Good. This is all good stuff. When you're doing the automated processes, have you ever had the need to do any type of coding or development, or are you just using all the sort of out of the box tools?
We use whatever tools are available inside of GoldMine.
Okay. All right. Have you made any big mistakes with automated processes that you'd like to share?
No, not really. I mean, occasionally we delete a lot.
Yeah, right. And then you have to go and like recreate it from scratch.
Right.
Did I ever tell you, I was doing an article for, I was writing an article for Forbes, and I got to interview Gene Simmons from KISS. And you talk about mistakes. Like he's like an entrepreneur, so he was starting up a restaurant or something, and that's why he was trying to promote it. And I asked him like the standard question. You're like, well, Gene, as an entrepreneur for 20 years, with KISS and all the other things you've been in, what was your biggest, your biggest mistake you think you've made in business? And his response was, I have made no mistakes. Is what you would think from like a Gene Simmons. Anyway, okay. So when you're sending out the emails themselves, clearly that's adding a lot to your database. I mean, you got a ton of emails going out. First of all, how many contact records do you have in the database? Would you estimate?
Oh my gosh, you know what? I have no idea. Maybe more than 20,000.
Okay, and then for each contact, we're talking about dozens or hundreds of emails that could be going, right?
Absolutely, because I use one contact record per company. So if we have multiple contacts or additional contacts, we might have 200 contacts at a company residing under additional contacts, and all of them may get emails. Now
that's very interesting that you say that, because when we usually recommend setting up GoldMine to have the most flexibility, we usually say, look, every contact should have their own contact record. I think you and I have talked about this before. And then you build an organization chart, and then that's way you have the most flexibility for email. So you've got like a company that might have a dozen contacts, additional contacts in it, correct?
Right.
100. Yeah, 100, right? Like hundreds. Okay. So have you ran into any problems doing that when it comes to email or automated processes?
One of the problems was handling opt-outs, which we figured out how to do that. So we use the market merge field, and we code that as no for marketing.
There's a mail merge field.
Right. So you can do that in the primary record as well as additional contacts.
Right.
That was one issue. The biggest issue is really just the expansive amount of data that's there. But whether you're on pending or on history tabs in GoldMine, you can filter pretty effectively to get to what you need.
Got it. All right, that's fair enough. How about? I'm sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
It's not a problem, really.
Okay. All right. Reports. Are you getting reports out of GoldMine, and if so, what reports are you getting?
I do not like the reports in GoldMine. I think
either.
They're pretty limited. I think they're really hard to create new reports that are meaningful.
Right.
What I have done is invested in Mastermind as a bolt-on to GoldMine, and that has proven to be very valuable. I use that every day.
I hear from Mastermind, and for those of you watching that aren't familiar with Mastermind, it's a GoldMine add-on. It's a third-party company, and it's a spreadsheet-based, like an Excel reporting application, heavy on pivot tables. And the experience that we've had with Mastermind, it's powerful and awesome, but you got to spend some time really getting up to speed on it. Was that your experience as well?
Well, I mean, I think if you're familiar with Excel and pivot tables, then that's the one learning curve. Once you've got that going, what I really like about it is you launch a Mastermind report. It gives you access to every field in the GoldMine database. So it doesn't matter, and you don't have to know you know, that these reside in the primary record or these are in the contact subtable. Or, you don't need to know any of that. All the field names are there. So all you need to know are the field names that you want. And you just click boxes and then they will populate to a pivot table. And then you have the flexibility of creating the pivot table however you want it to appear.
Got it. All right, that's fair enough. Have you been using it all in this new version of GoldMine's dashboards?
I like the dashboards. I don't really use, I thought I would use them more than I do for managing our opportunities in our pipeline. I do not, but that's because of the nature of our business. I don't forecast. I feel like the dashboards are more geared around forecasted sales. And I look at more, you know, when we use a forecasted sale, it's looking at what we estimate a customer will spend with us on a monthly or a quarterly basis. It's not like a particular event. So it doesn't really translate in the dashboards.
Yeah, I mean, and just for the record, I mean, you're right. The out-of-the-box dashboards, they do lean a little bit heavily towards the the forecasted sales opportunities. But don't forget, I mean, you can create your own dashboards. And one of the powerful things about dashboards is you can actually use external tables from other systems as well. So you can create a dashboard within GoldMine, and it could literally, it could be reporting on data that's housed in Attain. So just something to sort of keep in mind. How about the service center? Do you make any use of that?
Yes, we use the Knowledge Center, and all of our training materials are up there in a very organized way, and all of our processes. So anybody can access that stuff. Yeah.
All right. That's great. That's great. All right. So Beth, we only have a couple minutes left, and I promised this would take between 20 to 25 minutes just to give people a good feel of what you're doing with GoldMine. So 30 people at MarketPoint TKO using this all across the board from sales and service as well, heavily using actions and follow-ups, heavily using the email center, heavily using automated processes as well. You've got it integrated with Microsoft Attain, so you're bringing data in to GoldMine that you're then using for reporting and automated processes and marketing as well. You've got some good reports coming out of it through Mastermind, not GoldMine's report writer, which sucks, and I agree that it sucks. So that's good that you're doing that as well. So you've been using this since 1999, right? When you were, my goodness, I mean, how old were you in 1999? 10, 12? So,
answer that.
What would what have you learned? I mean, like if you were implementing GoldMine from scratch today, if you were going to implement this system, what mistakes did you make that you would not want to repeat? And what advice would you have for people that are either, just getting started with GoldMine or thinking of using it, sort of minefields to avoid, or, certain things that you would say, here's some advice for you?
I think the first thing I would consider is GoldMine the right CRM? And I would say that I'm really into CRM, so I'm always investigating what's new and what's on the market. I still think, even now today, that GoldMine is one of the most flexible CRM packages out there, especially for remote users and especially for heavy CRM users, because you don't have to click through each field. When you enter data, you can go somewhere else and just continue on your way, and you're really working, and it is in the background, rather than like a Salesforce.com, which is very field dependent. You have to put the data into a field, and then you have to save, like as you enter through a field, that it saves the data in that field. Just the whole file structure of the CRMs is different. And I think GoldMine is easier to use. It's easier to live with. What would I change? I would have forced everyone to adopt the GoldMine email and not allowed them to go into Outlook.
Right.
Yeah. Or I would have integrated Outlook at the get-go with GoldMine email. And
we have that debate all the time with clients that are using GoldMine. And I always think, like, I get it if you're part of a huge company and there's 20 GoldMine users and 1,000 employees and everybody's on Outlook. I mean, I understand you have to have that integration, but if you're a smaller company like yourself, I mean, I just don't get it. It's just everybody should just be using GoldMine's email. You just have, it's all in one place in one time, right?
Right. So people get attached to Outlook.
So Outlook is definitely one thing. I mean, I guess you've taken your lumps trying to use GoldMine reporting as well. The other thing that I just find, and I'll kind of wrap with this, Beth, but would you say when you got GoldMine, it was sort of your baby. You know,
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And
Absolutely.
You embraced it and you made the decision to go forward with it. And basically you took no prisoners, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Because
It
I found
remains
that
true.
as well. I'm sorry, what'd you say?
It remains true.
Yeah, I believe it. I mean, every application has its strengths and weaknesses, but I know the people that succeed the most with CRM applications, and GoldMine as well, is that you know, you have to have a strong person that just says, this is the tool we're going to use for all the good and the bad, and everybody shut up. This is what we're using. And that's sort of the attitude you've had over the years?
Yes, you know, and right from the get-go, we decided to invest in it, and we made that investment in the software itself for the users, but also in really bringing our data over, really creating the fields that we needed. And that was one of the best things we did, making that initial investment strong and hard right out the gate.
Yep, fair enough.
So that's helped us.
Beth, you're awesome. Thank you very much. This is a great conversation. Again, this is Beth Nordman, you know, from MarketPoint, TKO Electronics, right?
Mm-hmm, yep.
And Beth, you're based in Exton, Pennsylvania, and the company also has offices off in California, 30 users of GoldMine, and this is a great conversation. We really appreciate all your input today, and thank you very much. So stay on the line for a second, Beth. I'm going to stop the broadcast so this gets saved to our YouTube channel. And everybody, thank you for joining us, and I hope you have enjoyed this little session.